Tappei has just released Arc 7 Chapter 32, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. I highly recommend you check out my video covering Arc 7 Chapter 31. Anyways, let's get started. The chapter begins with Priscilla attacking Al for his late behavior, for not being around, with Al apologizing for being tardy. However, Subaru states that Al was not at fault, and rather it was him that caused Al to be late. Priscilla also points out that Subaru's forehead is red, and makes the observation that he was banging his head on a wall, to which Subaru comments that she's right, and Subaru wonders if Priscilla has clairvoyance. Subaru states that it isn't like everyone to stop talking when he wasn't present. However, Priscilla states that it isn't a conclusion that Subaru would come up to because after all, Subaru is Abel's military strategist. As Subaru went to respond to Priscilla, he noticed that Abel crossed his arms and took a seat. Subaru thinks that maybe Abel regretted giving Subaru that title of military strategist, but since Abel proclaimed it in front of Priscilla, he would be unable to rescind the title. Either way, without Subaru, the meeting couldn't conclude, so they were waiting for Subaru to return. Subaru looks around the round table and we see the prominent members such as Dika Ottoman, Tarita, and Abel. Subaru summarizes the situation. Essentially, the conditions for victory was to obtain more 9 divine generals than the opponent. However, there was a separate issue, namely Priscilla's cooperation and the support of Priscilla's collaborator. Once Subaru made that statement, Priscilla commented on his improved vigor and stated he had a different look to him. Subaru was shocked that Priscilla essentially complimented him, and Priscilla said that Subaru can jump with joy if he wants to. Al, seeing this, stated that it was wise for him to be late for the meeting, which Priscilla concludes that Al was the reason for Subaru's change in demeanor, questioning how friendly Al is being with other people. However, Al states that he's a nice guy, so it isn't unusual for him to be friendly with people. Subaru, of course, wasn't sure if Priscilla was saying the truth regarding Al's behavior. However, Al did in fact help Subaru. Abel cut them off and got the conversation back on topic. The idea was that regardless of Priscilla's support, Abel would try and take back the capital regardless. However, Priscilla offered a bone, stating that should Abel get the support of a divine general, they could then offer their support towards Abel. Their support referring to Priscilla and Priscilla's collaborator. Of course, it would be a hard task, but should they gain one divine general, having Priscilla's support alongside her collaborators would actually provide a big boost to Abel's chances of reclaiming the throne. However, Abel discussed the situation. From his perspective, he was in a losing battle, so a divine general joining them would be unlikely. Abel had self-awareness. Initially, if Priscilla and her collaborator were on his side, he could use that as a bargaining chip to get a divine general on his side. But in this case, it's the other way around. Now he needs to get a divine general to get Priscilla and her group to join. In the end, Abel only had his mouth, the fact that he was the real emperor, the Shadrakians, and the city of Guaral on his side. Dika asks Abel if they can use Cecilus, which of course brings a big surprise to the cast. But Dika states that since Cecilus doesn't think using straightforward ideas, he could potentially be recruited. Regardless, since he was very strong, he was someone that should be recruited anyway. They then asked where Cecilus lives, and Abel states that Cecilus actually lives with Arakia, which causes Subaru to freeze up for a second. Even Priscilla frowned after hearing that. Subaru asks if Cecilus and Arakia are lovers. After all, if this was the case, since Arakia was the enemy of Vincent, that would make Cecilus the enemy of Vincent as well, if Arakia and Cecilus were dating. However, Abel states that Arakia actually wants to kill Cecilus. However, since their fighting can cause damage, Abel ordered Cecilus to stay in an area where Arakia can attack him easily. So essentially Cecilus lives with Arakia, so Arakia can attack Cecilus. Subaru was of course baffled by the situation and wondered how you could live with someone who wants to kill you. But he moved on, asking if they should go to the imperial capital to recruit Cecilus. However, going to the imperial capital isn't safe. Furthermore, they didn't actually know if Cecilus was present in the capital. It seemed like Dicky's idea didn't really lead anywhere. However, there was another suggestion put forward by Abel himself, using this idea of people which don't have straightforward thinking. Dicker was actually opposed to what Abel was implying. Abel was talking about meeting with a divine general known as Yorna. She was a beautiful woman, and this woman scared even Dicker Ottoman, the person known as the womanizer. The reason for this is because she's known for mutiny. In other words, she has threatened the reign of Vincent many times before. Subaru was shocked that someone like that was actually a divine general. Either way, Priscilla, who was observing the situation, stated that it's been decided. The only divine general that is likely to join is Yorna, and she is located in a city south of the Bodheim jungle and southeast from the city of Guaral, in the city of Chaos Flame. The reason why it's called Chaos Flame is because it's a demon city, and it's a city which has many different races which coexisted since ancient times. Tarita spoke for the first time, asking Abel to take her to the city. She looked hopeless, but it was understandable. Her going to Chaos Flame would allow her to cement herself as the chieftain, or at least give her the resolve to lead the tribe. The way Subaru understands the situation is that Tarita is looking for experience or a success which confirms that she is suitable to being the chieftain of the Shadrakians, something to actually convince herself. In other words, the exact same thing that Subaru needed for himself. Subaru jumped in and stated that Tarita was right and she should actually join their squad since they need guards and guides anyway. Tarita states that Kuna and Holly will look after Mazelda and they'll take charge of the Shadrak whilst Tarita leaves with the group. However, then the door swings open and Flop states that he heard everything. Flop praises Tarita for taking a prominent role. However, he recommends that one more person tags along with them, his sister Medium, and she can protect them on their journey. Subaru asked if Medium knows about this, and Flop states that she doesn't, however it's fine. Subaru then asks if Abel is fine with Medium coming along, and Abel is fine with it. Flop states that he will assist the chief, Subaru, and Rem with the best of his power, and he will stay behind and look after the others. Abel states that Subaru is of course coming along since he is a bargaining chip as he was behind the fall of Guaral. Priscilla also jumps in and praises Subaru and mentions that strength isn't the only thing which is respected, intelligence is also respected. Since Subaru conquered the city with his intelligence, he's actually a great bargaining chip alongside the others such as the Shadrakians and Dicker Ottoman. Subaru felt weird being praised so highly by not only Abel but by Priscilla, considering internally he was simply crushed by Rem a moment ago. Overall though, his heart wasn't really moved by their high appraisals due to Rem's harsh words. Subaru then spoke out that if he's useful, then he wants something in return. Abel inquires on what he wants, and Subaru states that he will make Abel the emperor, but in return he wants to go home safely with everyone. Abel thought about it and stated he didn't need to be told, but that's what he would do. And the chapter ends there. So yeah, another chapter where nothing really happened. At least we know where we're going. We're going to the city of Chaos Flame. And we're going to recruit a new waifu to our team, Yorna. I'm assuming someone will die soon. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on. I wonder if Rem is going to tag along because it's a demon city. I don't know if that means that there are like demons or whatever, but maybe Rem will be able to sort of integrate with the people if she comes along. Again, I'm not really sure, but we do know we're trying to recruit a waifu to our team, and if we get that waifu, Priscilla will join alongside her collaborator, which I believe is Selena Dracoi. And yeah, I mean, honestly, nothing much is really happening. Again, it's been like this for the past 5-6 chapters, so let's see what happens next time when they go to Chaos Flame.